Well, hello and welcome to Friday night's update. I'm here with Carney. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank God it's Friday, is all I can say.
Yeah. Hey,
Welcome,
Michael, getting your
Michael.
dance on? Good.
Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining.
So, new update. Yay.
Yep. Can you believe we're on week 38 already?
Uh, time flies.
Done it just. Okay.
Interesting picture here. Building all high.
Yes.
Also interesting how they managed to get the beams angled in such a way that they meet one another at the top platform.
Yeah. It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Anyway.
week 38 is high-rise mission and a range of quality of life improvements. Well, I like the sound of that. Multiple
Oh
quality
yeah.
of life improvements and bug fixes make up this week's update. Also, jump into our new construction mission, High Rise. I do remember this having been mentioned, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago in an update as part of a future thing.
Yeah, the high-rise mission has been mentioned before indeed.
Well, now we have it.
Might have been in Patch Notes future content stuff. I don't recall exactly anymore, but
Okay. Well, would you be so good as to take us through the first part?
oh, sure, I could do that. That's no problem at all. So, week 38's update is centered around a range of bug fixes and quality of life improvements, paired with our first construction mission in a number of weeks, High Rise. Many of the fixes and improvements have come from community feedback and suggestions, something we highly value. You'll see we have linked to the relevant feature upvote tickets in this post. I checked them and indeed quite a few of them are links to the future upvotes, so keep them coming there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They're they look for feedback, and if we don't get it, then there'll be no improvements or changes to the game. So, yeah,
Simple.
keep it coming.
They can't find all the issues themselves whilst testing. So hey, if you run into an issue or you have an improvement question, let them know. Because if you don't let them know, how are they supposed to know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. So our ongoing dedicated service work is progressing in leaps and bounds, with fixes to overall game performance improving as a result. Good. This includes the frame stuttering as a result of swapping items in the hotbar fix that you'll see below. I'm not sure I've ever noticed that one. I'm kinda used to the micro stutters anyways.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, let's have a read through this week's patch and load in to play High-Rise Construction after the update. We can't wait to see your takes on the task at hand. And a nice view from a quite elevated base from the looks of it.
Yeah. That's a nice picture of the Arctic there.
It's not the Arctic though. It's the forest biome. Look at the right side, bottom right. That ain't no Arctic.
Well,
What you
there's
see is the snow
definitely.
in the mountains, but yeah, but that's in all
Yeah.
biomes, right? Snow in the mountains,
Wow.
except for the
Yeah,
forest.
actually,
No,
yes,
sorry,
you're
for
right.
the desert.
Okay. It's a cool picture.
Let's see if we zoom in a bit on the picture now. Even across the valley there, it's still grassland. So this is definitely a view of forest biome.
Okay. Okay.
So a bit different. We first get the bug fixes or some bug fixes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have addressed a range of bugs this week. Some of the main ones we wanted to call out are the frame stuttering when swapping items in the hotbar. It has been diagnosed and addressed.
Yep.
Like I said, I'm not sure I ever encountered that one actually, but hey, sure.
Yeah.
The next one, weather effects are no longer activating in glass buildings and underwater as they were previously. This is a link to a feature upvote.
Yep.
Reinforced glass sloped roofs leak water and allow rain to be inside the house. Yeah, but we have basically had this like since the beginning that inside the house you sometimes do see rain, but
Yeah. It
well,
was even worse when it would snow inside the house.
yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see whether or not this one has been fixed now. I assume we will be getting the a lot of weather events in the new mission anyway. So.
Yeah.
The R key was not working for clients when attempting to flip buildables when placing, which is now being resolved.
Good.
The feature update stated the single press R key to swap the building pieces inward, outwards, or rotate isn't working on one of the characters. Holding the R key is working fine.
Okay.
Okay, I have to admit something. I always press and hold R. I never tried the single press R. This is something I will be doing from now on. I didn't even know this was an option. You see,
No,
even I'm learning things.
I didn't think it was an option. I always have always thought you had to press and hold it in order because you've got to press and hold it and then select your piece.
Yeah.
It's
So
always been
apparently,
like
with
that for
the
me.
single press R is also working. This I am gonna test out. You
Oh,
know,
for
I do
sure.
most of the building, so this is gonna be
Yeah,
huge for me.
and that's going to be an easy one to test.
Yeah. Let's see. The biomastery talents have been fixed, as previously they weren't applying in sticks. To be honest, I don't have those talents, so I
No,
didn't really miss them. Didn't even know they weren't working in sticks.
no, me neither. Don't have them.
And another one, Icarus is now no longer attempting to launch in VR mode.
There's a VR mode.
Yes, there is, but apparently somehow for some people or something, after the like 4 weeks ago or so update, for some people Icarus like 4 started into VR mode.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I fixed it because I have no idea how it looks in VR mode, and you're trying to look at it from a screen. But I can
I wish I knew
understand
that.
this would be not so nice to look at. Well, if you have like an Oculus Rift, you can play it in VR.
Well, there is actually VR here. And had I known that Icarus was VR, I would definitely have tried it.
Well, now
So
you know.
now I know.
Just don't try it at today's gameplay, please. Try it tomorrow or something.
Uh, no, it's going to be a while before I try that, I think.
Alrighty. Anyway, you'll see even more in the changelog below. Many thanks to the players who helped identify these bugs and worked with us to find and reproduce them so we could isolate and fix them. Yeah, if you can't reproduce an error, it's always harder troubleshooting.
Yeah,
And yeah,
always.
nice towery building again. By the looks of it, these are concrete foundation blocks
Mm-hmm.
with internal wood foundations. Is there such a thing? In between?
Possibly.
Uh, uh,
Hmm.
I haven't launched my game on my other screen yet, so I can't check the talent tree. But let's see, can we... No, 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 no. It's internal wooden flooring and glass windows. I've
Ah.
opened the image in a new tab and zoomed in a bit. And the top layer is concrete flooring.
Right. Okay.
Okay, those were the main bug fixes. Next one, quality of life improvements. We've made a range of quality of life improvements alongside this week's bug fixes, adding new talents and buffs alongside improving the UI to share important information as you play. There are more you can read about in changelog, but here are 6 key ones we thought deserved a special mention. 2 new talents, vegetarian and the carnivore talent. They increase the buffs for fruit and vegetable foods and for the dried meats. This is actually like yesterday. Rodman was kind of mentioning some new talents and stuff, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't think I'll. But increase the buffs for dried meat foods. Well, it's for the dried meat only. So my
Yeah.
default diet is prime meat,
Mm-hmm.
flatbread, which might be part of the veggie talent,
Mm-hmm.
and the dried stringy. This is definitely part for the dried meat talent. Now,
Yeah.
if we go have a look at those talents, let's see, talents. I would say survival. But then I have to find where the buffs are. Is it like a top level buff or is it lower level buff? Let's
Mm.
oh here. Vegetarian is a second line buff. As in you need the naturally preserved talent first, slows food decay your inventory.
Okay.
Then you can go for the carnivore and the vegetarian buff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it'll cost you 1 talent point for naturally preserved for people who don't have it yet, and then another one for the veggie or the carny buff. It's
Yeah.
plus 15 for the first level and plus 30 for the second level modifier effectiveness. Sorry, plus
Okay.
15% and plus 30%.
Okay.
Interesting, but not worth for me to spend 3 talent points on.
Well, I mean, the fact that they're giving us new talents is great, but it's quite late in the game to be giving us new talents without the offer of some talent points to go with them.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I spec my characters and I like the way they're spec'd. And I
And we've,
can't
yeah,
really remove any talent points. I
no.
could go for a little bit less base stun, but then I had to go back from 40 plus 40 to plus 25. So that's like the only one I might take one out. But
Hmm.
again, I
See,
need
I,
2 talent points to get to the first level of that talent. No, for me, it's not worth it. But hey, I
well,
can understand if people wanna get those talents. They do look interesting, that's for sure.
yeah, well, I mean, I have the talent in my character Sparrow. That character has the growing,
That the reduced rate of food spoiling in your inventory. Yeah.
yeah,
So for you, it's only like one extra talent point.
yeah, but my problem is, or at least Sparrow's problem is, it's such a well-rounded character,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah,
If I lose or move any of those talent points, my character is gonna be really difficult to use
yep.
because
Yeah, it's you have to rethink your character a bit, indeed.
yeah, you know, it's
But again, the
I'm not.
talent itself, it's interesting,
Yes, the talent
and I can
itself is really interesting.
and I can definitely understand people wanting to get a talent. Yes,
Yes, yes. Well, I
I'm
I
just saying, for me
suppose
personally,
I
I'm not going
suppose
for it.
I could remove my fourth stomach slot.
and make the veggie buffs more effective. Because you
Yeah.
use your veggies a lot more than I do.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I do the creamed corn
Yeah.
and stuff.
Anyway,
So
let's continue with the
yes,
patch notes. The sleep
beds.
quality. Better beds provide increased well-rested stats and duration. It links to the feature updates, the bed buff versus bed roll buff. Like the
Yeah.
buffs for the bed and bed rolls are the same. Only benefit to a real bed is cosmetic. This is, by the way, last year's post, so hence no mention of a rustic bed yet. I
Mhm.
propose that bed rolls only offer respawning and rest until dawn capabilities, then the real bed offering the well-rested buff.
Mhm.
And yeah, a lot of people were basically, makes sense, and also makes creating the bed feel rewarding. So you
Mhm.
spend more materials for a better bed and you get a better buff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Because
they indeed changed those well-rested buffs. And if I'm not mistaken, the bedroll gives you like the base well-rested buff. The rustic bed gives you like the immediate well-rested buff, and the like the proper bed from the carpentry bench gives you like the best well-rested buff.
yeah. Yes. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
And it sounds like it sounds like a nice change.
yeah, and
Because
indeed it makes it worth crafting a bed instead of
yeah,
just keep using the bedroll.
because I remember in the beta weekends when the beds were available, but they were only available from the carpentry bench. Um, one of the first things we asked was, I wonder if the better bed gives us better rested bonus, and we found it didn't.
Yeah,
And ergo, we never really made beds again unless we were spending 4 or 5 real life days in a mission.
not during the beta weekend though, because
No,
you
no,
were
no,
only able
no.
to play
You're
during the weekend.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, indeed.
in
We only made the bed if we had time at hand. We had like a long mission.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So okay, next up we
Let's see. Can I see? Oh, yeah, here the bedroll is 600 seconds, I reckon, for the well-rested buff. The rustic wood, the rustic bed 750, and the internal wood 900. So basically 50% longer than the bedroll.
yes,
Anyway, yeah.
yeah. Uh,
Range damage numbers are now shown correctly in the stats menu. I don't know. Range damage numbers in the stats. Yeah. If you
when you
open
look,
your
yeah,
player info, you go to the stats thingy. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay. Were they incorrect? I have to admit, I
If
never looked at
if
them.
if you remember, I do remember that not working. Because like we would swap from one bow to the next, and it would make absolute, or or one different arrow to the next, when we know that the bows and respective arrows do more damage, and it wasn't reflected in the stats menu.
Oh, I'm glad I fixed that, because
Yeah,
that's like the easiest way to like compare and compare weapon types and check whether or not this bow is indeed better than that other bow.
yeah, yeah,
Good.
exactly.
Alterations from talents are now shown in the crafting menu, highlighted on items and on pop-ups. Uh, they already didn't they? No, they did show at the crafted product, but apparently now also in the crafting menu it'll show you like, hey, it will automatically add this alteration because you have like that talent. And
Yes.
like I have the talent for storage, I craft his extra slots.
Mm-hmm.
It'll show now in the crafting menu already. Oh, nice.
Nice. Good. Good. Good.
The power water network information is now shown in blueprints, tooltips, and on items. Indeed, like how much water does, for example, the cement mix need, right?
Yeah. Or the kitchen bench.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, once you've casted it, then you could see.
Yeah.
Now, at least in the, I can see it in the blueprint in the tech tree already, the blueprint tooltip pop-up thingy.
Yes.
It tells you how much water they need. What do you think about the lights? I never knew how much power they needed. It was nowhere shown nowhere. At
Yeah.
least now it tells you, like the basic wall light, basic ceiling light, they use 150 power. The
Yes.
work lamps as well, both the bidirectional and the both the directional and the omnidirectional work lamps, tier 4 ones, require 150 power.
Mm-hmm.
This is information I didn't know before at all. Now we
Yeah.
do.
And that leads us right on
Yeah,
to
but
the last
also
one.
one thing, also for the war pump, for example, it tells you it requires 1,000 power, but it provides 1,000 war. So it also shows you how much it provides. Not only
Yeah.
what it needs,
That's
but also what it gives.
that's brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
better for your calculations. Did
Yeah.
you know the water sprinkler requires 1 water?
I
It
totally
does.
forgot about the sprinklers. You
Yeah,
remember we tested them. We had a lot of fun with them.
true. We tried to use them as a watering tool for
Yeah.
the crop plots. It didn't work. Not even when you stood underneath them with a burning torch in your hand. It didn't work.
No. No, unfortunately. Um,
It
but
was
it
fun
did.
playing around with it though.
Yeah, because we put a load of
We put a
stuff
thatch
in it.
house down
Yeah, and
with a
put a load of
sprinkler
stuff
and
in
then
it.
set it on fire and then it was fun.
Yeah, it saved the stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and talking about the electric lights, that's mentioned in the one below it.
Yeah, doors, windows and electric lights should now retain their state upon reloading into the game. Opened, closed, the on off. Uh, Windows, I noticed they were closed during yesterday's gameplay. Yesterday's? No, sorry.
Yes.
And sorry, I mean when I was playing in my outpost. Every time I loaded back into the game, like at this window towards the rain catcher opened, every time it was closed again.
Mhm. Mhm.
That should have been fixed now. The electric lights, however, they already stayed on. So might be on a case by case basis where it was or was not working proper. I did see in the Discord, however, for the experimental branch, people testing this and stating like, yeah, indeed, now at least the doors and windows they keep their previous state as well as the lights and stuff,
Mhm.
which is good.
Yeah, for sure.
And we have another picture of a nice elevated building, ramps leading up, and a bit of forest fire in the background.
Yeah.
And yes, Echo, this is forest biome, not snow
Yep,
biome.
it is. It is definitely. So the picture above, or two pictures above, is the view
From this one, possibly, I don't know.
from this building.
Maybe.
Possibly, could be.
Anyway, now we go to
Here's
the new mission
yeah.
description. Hmm?
Here's the mission. High-rise construction. After a few weeks without a new construction mission, we're bringing you high-rise construction, tasking you to build a six-floor observation tower and make it habitable. Your briefing is as follows. The operator is UDA, the biome is the Great River in the Styx map. The background for it says operator requests a tower providing vision across central Styx Great Lakes. The mission is to construct a tall observation tower with electric lighting and backup braziers. And the terms are flat fee, all resources and construction materials are the responsibility of the contractor. And just underneath
Um,
that, they suggest don't just build big, be creative, and share your screenshots with us on on hashtag screenshots and hashtag Icarus clips in our Discord.
Screenshot channel and Icarus Clips channel in Discord.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
6th floor. So what we could do is build our normal base, but just higher.
Yes. Taller.
Yeah. I have no idea how tall it needs to be though.
Well, 6 floors.
It doesn't really state. Uh, okay, six
One,
floors.
one,
Okay,
one,
okay, that. But
one
hold on,
wall. One wall
hold on.
is floor to ceiling.
Okay, so just instead of one beam between like the base and the floor or part of the beam, we just have to go like 6 higher.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that. Don't
Or at
worry.
least that
Be happy.
yeah, that's my
Ah,
take on it. And
okay,
if you wanted to be really inventive, you put the stairs on the outside.
and going around
Yeah,
with railings alongside.
yeah,
6 high. We have a 3x3, so there's gonna be 3. Meh, just around one corner. But since we have the door in the middle, it means like 2 corners. Well, actually, yeah. Okay, I already have an idea on how to go up and down. Okay, it's gonna be a
okay,
nice one.
cool. Or we could just use ladders. Let's think
Nah,
about it. We use a floor with a trapdoor hole so that in one corner of the
no,
yes we do so
no,
that we could
we're
you
not gonna. Not in a corner. Then we do the floor in front of the door, normal door position. Or we could also do like extend out of the door one, put a trapdoor in, and there. But I have a nicer idea on how to get people dizzy. Don't worry. Don't worry.
yeah, it's called vodka.
Yep.
That's a nice concrete building there. Again, they've got
Oh
the
yeah.
roofs on, they've got extra roofs on the outside, which is a suggestion that they're maybe trying to protect the glass underneath it.
Yeah. I haven't tried the reinforced glass in extreme weather conditions yet. So I don't know whether or not I will be able to withstand those like concrete does. What I
Yeah.
don't like about this building though is they have a lot of windows without glass.
Yes.
And then I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do it that way for sure.
No. Well, I mean, you can have windows, but use shutters.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay, let's see. No, it is normal weather. There's no warning about extreme weather on this mission, so.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Alrighty. Now we're getting into the change log. Excuse me.
So,
Uh,
the added stats for the dried meat modifier effectiveness and fruit and veggie modifier effectiveness. Well, as part of the new content. Well, this is the
yeah.
new talents, so they can like actually use the new talents also mentioned above. Adding
Yeah.
the new talents, which the carnivore and vegetarian, which increase the dried meat and the fruit and veggie modifier effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Each one has 2 levels, plus 15 and plus 30%, and is in the produce tree. Well, a survival tree actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you go to survival, and then the cooking and farming part there, and they are basically a sub of the naturally preserved talent.
Yes.
The added check to prevent stomach storage from being scaled based on modifier effectiveness. So you don't get more food. Like each piece of food gives you a certain amount of like nutrition. They didn't change that. They just change the other effects, like the dried meat, where you do, what is it, more, where you can hit more rapidly.
Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, for testing purposes, I might take 2 talents of my base stamina and like get the carnivore talent, but it's definitely not going to be a definitive construct.
No.
Anyway, adding the craft recipe filter options for the attachment type. So the attachments per piece of equipment can be found a lot easier in the alteration menu. Yes, please, thank you. Because
Yes.
you have a ton of attachments there now, and like it's hard to find the correct attachment. Like I want one for my helmet, and you have to skip all the equipment ones, which is relatively easy because they're all grouped at the top. But then you have the armor attachments, and then you have to basically hover over each of the alterations,
Yeah.
hover over each of the attachments to see which one is fit for my helmet. So
Yeah. Well, I
thank
mean,
you.
one of the things that uh, I had actually thought about as far as that was concerned was actually could they have changed the icon of the attachment to show what the attachment was for so that you would know which was which visually?
The icons are very small already. Then you have to show both the function, which is showing now, and also what is used on.
Yeah.
And you have to all jam it into one tiny icon. So yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Marcus says he's very glad that we are going over these. They're sometimes confusing. Well, Michael, sometimes they're confusing for us as well. But hey, if he can help you understand them better, you're welcome. Very, very happy to do it.
Yeah. This is part and parcel of the reason why we do it, to
Yeah,
try and clarify these things,
yeah,
to help people understand the game better and exactly
yeah.
what they're looking at and how it works.
I mean, we were talking about the updates before, or before we streamed them already, and we were like, yeah, but it's not always easy to understand, and maybe people, other people have the same issue. So hey, if we can help them out, by all means.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was pretty much just the answer of, well, we're talking about it anyway, so
Yeah.
why not include people who are actually gaming the game and see if they want to know. And here we are, many weeks later. So, alterations that are granted by talents will now show up in crafting tooltips before you craft an item.
So, like I said, if I craft a cupboard, it'll show me now, hey, you get this alteration talent. And it's actually the level 2 extra space 1 and the level 1 extra space 2. So total plus 8 slots, generic inventory slots.
Yes.
When I craft a smelter, it'll tell me, oh, it'll automatically get the stoking the flames alteration, plus 15% smelting speed.
Yes.
Well stoked 2 alteration. So before crafting already, which is good.
Yeah. Okay. That's then followed by in the crafting UI, if you have talents that will alter the item upon crafting, the images of the item in the crafting menu will show the golden glow outline effect.
Interesting. So in the crafting menu already, showing, so it's making it easy for you to see, like if you go to a bench, what can I craft with materials available, which has this alteration already built in. So basically, if we both make a screen print of the crafting menu in the crafting bench, for me the cupboard will have the golden glow outline, and for you it would not.
Yes.
Once it is in the crafting menu, once it's crafted by me, then in the inventory it'll show the golden globe for both of us.
Yes.
Interesting. Handy. Handy, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it's going to make. I think it would make things easier to get a grip of. Um, excuse me. Okay,
Right.
setting high-rise construction feature level to sticks, so it is unlocked and people can access and play.
Yeah, from development or whatever to sticks. And it indeed shows up in the sticks mission list.
Good.
Good.
We like that.
Yeah.
Adding ability to specify custom alphas on items so the item glow on custom items comes through.
Comes through cleaner than the generated one in cases where it looks bad, specifically the bows. They were, remember how a couple of weeks ago, like the week after they added the
Oh,
glow to the bows,
yeah.
where they already said
Yes.
like, we do it slightly differently for the bow, otherwise it becomes a mess, this image. So yeah, they like extended this change they made then to the crafting menu apparently.
Okay. Alrighty. Could you take us through the next couple, please?
Yeah. Updated the stat descriptions for the two new modifier effectiveness stats. So yeah, those talents. Uh, we have to check though if one of us gets the talents. We have to look at the description of the, like, for example, dried meat. Will it be different for me if I have that talent, the carnivore talent? What's it called officially? Yeah, the carnivore talent. Uh, will it tell me like different numbers or something? And if you don't have that talent, if you have the veggie talent, will fruit and vegetable numbers be different for you in the description? This we can test.
Oh, yeah, we can test that.
Yeah.
We can definitely test that.
So added the wood bow and longbow glow override to the itemable. Basically the two bullet points above.
Yeah.
The custom alphas. Here, added the new stats for the well rested buff durations. All beds are given this stat, but different values are provided now per bed type. As you can see, 600 for the bed roll, 750 for the rustic and wood, and 900 for the interior wood one. So
Nice.
yeah, it's gonna be worth it now to spend some extra materials to get the proper interior wood beds. Obviously, they'll take more. They'll take more space. Sure. I mean, bed rolls you can jam in. The
Yeah.
beds is that harder. They take a bit more space, but they also give you like a 50% more well-rested buff, a longer, 50% longer well-rested buff compared to the bed roll. So
Yeah.
worth it. Worth it.
Oh, for sure.
The difference being the rustic and wood. I think you need more materials to get to the rustic bench and then the beds compared to getting the interior wood beds. So it's harder to craft or cost more time and or materials to craft. But gives you slightly less buff. So they might be balancing this again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking here. They might be rebalancing this in like next week's update.
Okay.
But the whole idea behind this, I totally support.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that we've discussed even from early on. So yeah, it,
Yeah.
you update the bed, you should get a better bonus from that bed.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, fixing the issue where the wrong talent was being awarded. A talent being awarded. for finishing the high-rise construction mission. Will we be
Ooh,
awarded a talent?
okay. Maybe
This,
some of my comments at the beginning were a little premature.
I don't know. This is an interesting bullet point. And Marco, yes, this is confusing for us as well. What exactly do they mean here? A talent being awarded for finishing high-rise construction. We also do know the in patch notes have been talking about talents awarded before and then it turned out to be blueprints.
Yeah,
So yeah, we just have to finish this this mission and
we get a talent point.
and see what happens next.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's an interesting one. Talents being awarded for finishing a mission. Huh.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
Anyway, shifting position in Stick's mission tree of the high-rise construction, yeah, basically where it shows up in the mission tree.
Yeah.
Right. Those were the new contents, bullet points. Now we move to the fixes. They fixed an accolade save issue while moving between levels, which was causing possible accolade progress loss. Recall, Echo, where we were like, didn't we already kill this boss? Why don't we see the accolades for it?
Yeah, but then
Looks like if you get the accolades, if the action that gives you the accolade also gives you a level, that sometimes it didn't register the accolade progress.
ah,
This is how I read this.
yeah, that makes sense.
On the other hand, we have been playing with level 50 characters for a while already. Yeah, then
Yeah, but that
again,
doesn't mean to
so
say
no
that
levels,
my
but then again, you still do level and get blueprints. So yeah,
yeah, but I
good.
mean we did some bosses not so long back, if you remember, for the
Yeah, for the
boss
bosses video.
montage
Yeah,
video. And we figured out at that point, because we knew we're not going to get any levels, we figured out at that point it was the person who got the kill shot that got the accolade.
yeah, but there were bosses neither of us had the accolade for.
Yeah,
Sure, it could have been Carl or Giz who got a kill shot in. And also, I'm
yeah,
still not sure who gets the accolade if you, for example, shoot it with a fire arrow and the fire kills it. Or you shoot
yeah.
it with a poison arrow and the poison kills it. Who gets awarded the accolade?
The person who shot the arrow.
Is it?
Well, that's what I would say.
And if you both shoot a poison arrow?
Which poison arrow did the final damage?
Exactly.
So who shot which arrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Moving swiftly on.
Apparently they find an issue if you like level up and also get the accolade that sometimes it didn't register the accolade progress, which they have now saved.
Good.
It's a tad hard to test, but hey, they found an issue, they fix it. I'm glad.
Yep.
So next one, make subtitle reference text string in the dialog transient so that it doesn't get saved into the data table JSON, since it's only for editor use when setting up subtitle timing overrides a resave data table. Okay, so for they're still working on the whole subtitle versus audio sync and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they basically created for themselves a way of like quickly changing and testing things. That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's an important one. In the Ice
Yeah.
Storm mission, they updated the mission crate system to use the latest spawning logic. This will resolve lost mission items, because they now respawn in the crates. Not sure what I mean with the next part, and hard to see icons and hard to see icons. But
Yeah, I think that's
yeah,
just a.
in the in Discord, I've seen quite some complaints about people like, hey, I started this mission, I had to take something from a crate, and I had to use it, I logged off, logged back in, the item was gone, and it isn't respawning.
Yeah.
I've seen multiple for the mission where you, in the Styx mission, where you open up the entrance between the southwestern Arctic and the desert. You know, where you have to put explosives on one side, run all the way around,
Yeah.
put explosives on the other side.
Yeah.
Quite a few people got stuck on that mission because somehow the first placed explosive disappeared, and then they had to abort the mission.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad they're working on fixing
Thankfully,
those kinds of things.
yeah, thankfully that didn't happen for us, but it doesn't mean to
Oh
say
yeah,
it hasn't happened for others.
true. Let's see, Ice Storm mission. It's not. I'm quickly scanning the Styx missions. I don't see no Ice Storm there. So I think it is an Olympus mission. If you check here, Ice Storm. Oh, this is where you have to go to the Arctic, build and like fire the sonic cannon in the Arctic to
Oh,
disrupt the storms.
yes. Yeah, that's right.
Let's hope this new spawning logic they use in all the missions nowadays. Because
Yeah, that would be
it
good.
is darn annoying if you're like almost completed the mission and then you're like, oh yeah, but this mission item is gone. I can't get it back, so basically I have to abandon the mission.
Yeah, that's good. That's definitely gonna suck.
Yep. Anyway, corrected the output of the UI start target range sound. The mission, the mini mission,
Yes.
2 weeks, 3 weeks ago with the bow shooting range.
Yes.
So
With the attachment systems.
no, the
Oh
one with
no.
the new crossbows.
Yes, that was
Where we
right.
had to do this course and shoot all the targets and stuff,
Yes,
which you
yes, of
can
course.
cheese by just turning around and shoot on the bullseye targets.
Yes.
Like
Very,
people were
very
like, yeah,
handy.
you can speed run this and do it in 15 minutes. Well, you can speed run this and do it in 5.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
Alrighty.
well, at least I managed to like finish the course normally, so finish the mission normally before I found this cheesing method.
Yes, yes, I'm kind of glad that we did too, because it was fun.
It was fun finding the cheesy method and then like improve your score, but at least you have the satisfaction we did it proper first.
Yes, we did. We did.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Fixing issue where projectile stats displays as they were displaying incorrect values in the player's menu.
Yeah, the go to your inventory and then more options or whatever it's called. Those statistics. We talked about it above already.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Update the blueprint enzyme geyser audio to use new overlap audio components to toggle the audio based on distance instead of just playing in a virtual state all of the time and wasting Fmod virtual voices. So now they only play the audio if you're close enough to hear it.
Okay.
Apparently they were playing it all the time. Well, you have like a multitude of geysers which are playing audio all the time. When you're out of audio range, so basically wasting
Yeah.
resources.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm glad I fixed this. This should give some performance improvements again, which we
Mhm.
like.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, always. We love when they fix stuff.
Yeah. Now I'm kind of waiting for you to ask me to read this one because it's technical.
I don't need to ask you to read that one. You know you need to read that one.
Exactly. Anyway. Yep.
Oh, right.
So,
Go through. Would you read the next one, please?
sure, no problem. They fixed an issue where the Substance plugin was missing DLLs for a Linux and Mac due to bad before ignore rules. In doing so, the Substance has been updated to the latest version, but still using the same engine version 4.27. So don't worry about that. You don't have to update the engine, just the plugin. Good. Well, I play from Windows, so I never say what. Okay, Michael. You want an explanation of the difference between Windows, Linux, Mac, or would it suffice for me to say if you're playing on a Windows system, you won't run into this issue? I'm a Windows engineer myself, sysadmin. We're Microsoft focused. Uh, that's to say Microsoft VMware and stuff, but not Linux and Mac. Not so much. So yeah, I know a thing or two about them, but not as much as I know about the Microsoft software about Windows OS.
Alrighty. So
Uh, yeah, Windows user, guess I'm good. Yeah, you're good. Don't
yeah,
worry.
you're good. You're good. You and me both. You and me both. Okay. Adding the ability to scale modifiers by effectiveness.
I think they're talking about the Fetchy and the Carney buff thingies.
Yes, I believe so. Because that is also the next two are involved in that. We have adding the ability for player stats to modifier.
Modifier effectiveness.
I
Modifier effectiveness.
Yes, yes. I think there's just a wee copy and paste too many going on in there. And that's followed by modifier stats and damage can now be scaled by the new modifier effectiveness value.
So basically, for those two new talents.
Yeah. Michael, now you know why I don't read the technical ones.
uh,
Okay.
anyway.
Moving swiftly on.
Fixing ensuring around the code base that brought to light that some resource connection code paths were not passing in a world context and therefore when generating item rewards would not be scaled correctly. So this is an issue they found themselves and which they fixed.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We like fixes.
Resource connection code paths. Okay.
Okay. Adding new modifier effectors value to the modifier states data table.
Again, those two new talents.
Yeah. Fixed a bug where having talents that do actions in biomes, i.e., desert, Arctic, conifer movement speed, won't work on sticks biomes. It now works on atmospheres instead of biomes, so to future-proof this issue.
Yeah, like in Styx it's called conifer biome, and in Olympus it's called the riverland biome, or the forest biome. So they
Yeah,
had forest and riverland in the list. Like these biomes, in these biomes, this stat applies. This faster move in forest, but they hadn't done it in for these Styx biomes. So instead of working on with a biome list, it now says an atmosphere, like forestry atmosphere,
yeah,
desert, Arctic, basically the three types. And in the new DLC is going to be the volcanic biome. Maybe the swamps will be a separate biome again.
yeah, Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, future proofing. I think this is a good thing that they do it this way now.
Yes.
Atmosphere instead of biome.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
Less chance of user error, i.e., forgetting to add the new biome to the list of biomes for which this stat is applicable.
Yes. Yes. Jason has joined us. Hey, Jason, how are you doing? Welcome,
Hey,
welcome.
Jason.
He says, "Yay, I didn't miss the stream today. Hi, all." Well, hi back.
I'm back to you. No, you didn't miss the entire stream, just the first part. Don't worry, we're still running.
Yeah, just everything before now.
Yep.
Okay.
So fixing some trivial errors and warnings on the Mac, and then a whole list of items for which those warnings were generated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be lazy and I'm gonna assume we don't have no Mac users listening. Again, I know a thing or two about Mac, but not by a long way as in depth of Microsoft. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. But if you are a Mac user, please
Please
speak.
wait with commenting this till the end of the video. Nah, joking.
Oh, I'm laughing because I was going to say exactly the same thing.
See, great minds think alike and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and if you are a Mac user, don't let us know because we don't know enough to be able to comment on it.
Yeah, don't know enough. Like I said, I know a thing or two, but
Well, you know a thing or
Microsoft
two
is my
more than
primary
me.
focus.
Yeah, well, you know a thing or two more than me then.
Huh. Anyway, they updated the Tom L plugin to the latest version, TOML, and Mac engine was missing the EOS SDK. They fixed it. They added it. Good.
Alrighty.
Okay, here's one of the ones mentioned above already. The disable the OpenXR plugin to stop Icarus from launching in VR mode unintentionally. Now
Yep.
I do wonder, this might be the one for which the workaround was removing this one DLL on a Windows
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah.
I think so, actually,
That would make
by the
sense,
looks
wouldn't
of
it?
it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you would break the plugin, so if you remove the DLL, then you couldn't use VR mode at all. But yeah, it is a good way to stop it from unintentionally launching VR mode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
going to the feature upside item behind this one. We did already. So
Yeah.
the next two are for the sleeping stats. They added the new stats for the sleep quality for you, Jason. The bedroll sleep well rested buff has a duration of 600 seconds. The rustic one has buff duration of 750 rustic bed, and the internal wood bed has a duration now of 900. So another bed also has changes for the length of the well rested buff now. Again, I'm not going to the feature upvote link. We did it already.
Yeah. Okay. Updated minimap images for Outpost 205, which previously had editor visual artifacts.
Oh, good.
Okay. Fixed clients not being able to press the R key to rotate building pieces. This was discussed above.
Again, discussed before. Also, that's the reason why I'm not going to the feature upvote link behind. And sorry about blinking. I silenced my phone. It was my phone.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Fixed a few instances of subtitles not matching Saul's dialogue. Well, we've kind of seen and heard about that several
Yeah, the
times now.
last couple of weeks now. Yeah.
So, thanks.
Yeah.
They enabled custom stencil support on glass master material. Glass roof and floor pieces will now block weather effects like rain, etc.
Again, we talked about this one above. No more rain underneath the glass roof.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. Fixed issues where spam clicking the aim down sight key with a bow could cause frame drops. UMG inventory item update is now only called a maximum of once per frame when listening to inventory updates.
Okay, if you're playing on even on a low FPS, on 30 FPS, how the heck do you are you able to click more than 30 times a second?
I don't know, but somebody's done it.
Yep. This is like the right mouse button where you like aim with a bow and unaim. If you spam clicked it, it could cause frame drops.
Yeah,
Duh. Cause hey, you will like zoom in, out, in, out, in, out,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
people are like, hey, if I do this, it is causing frame drops, and I'm like, come on, of course it is. Think.
Well, duh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
added bow and gun icons to D item classifications.
classification icons table.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for informing.
Yeah. And the next one, if you please.
To fix an issue that was causing armor to take more damage than it should in certain situations. The armor damage calculation now takes into account other sources of damage resistance and remove those values. So the armor resistance is only taken into account the damage they are blocking, rather than including the values from talents, food, weapons, and buffs. For example, you're chopping down a tree. The tree lands on your head. Your armor is like gives you the physical resistance buff. So your armor is taking some of the damage away. The damage is being transferred to the armor. Armor is taking damage. Now there is this talent where falling trees do less damage.
Yeah.
So looks like the reduced damage number was used in the calculations for the amount of damage the armor takes. Also the
Yeah.
talent for like weather resistance, you take less damage during a storm talent.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, not the storm one, cause a couple of weeks ago they removed the storm damage from the armor. It's now being transferred directly to the character and no longer to the armor. So not that one. But if I'm say my pickaxe does do more damage because of my talent. So if I accidentally hit you with my pickaxe, accidentally,
Yes.
I never do it intentionally, always accidentally. So if I accidentally hit you with my pickaxe, it does do more damage. So also more damage is being transferred to your armor.
Yeah.
No more. Now the normal amount of damage is being transferred to your armor. I
Good.
wonder, will the same added amount of damage being transferred to your character still? We might have to test this.
Maybe not.
Well, yeah, that's
Oh,
also why I'm able to one-hit kill certain animals with my pickaxe. So
yeah.
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 So I might be testing it on animals. Don't worry yet.
Yeah, that you can do. That you can do. Okay. Fixing projectile and melee damage armor resistance stats, which were being checked incorrectly in the armor damage calculation.
So basically, it's tied to the bullet point above
Yes.
and the one below as well, adding the wind damage resistance stats which were missing in the armor damage calculation.
Yeah.
Interesting. So will this mean that winds will start doing damage to armor again? I was very happy when they removed it. I mean, it's not that realistically, but I was glad they removed it. Because remember when we were in one of those Styx missions where we had to run back to the dropship with some bio samples,
Yes.
and both your and my armor was like at least yellow already fur armor.
Yeah.
We didn't have no spare fur armor. So at that point, the armor was still taking weather damage. So we were like, every time the storm seems to is about to start, we already had to like make a shelter, because running without the armor wasn't an option either.
No, exactly.
So because of that, I was very glad they removed the weather damage to the armor, although not that realistically, because hey, it should, your armor should take some damage. I mean, it still mitigated the damage, but it didn't do any damage to the armor itself no more. So maybe it
Yeah.
will do it again.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see. Basically, walk outside in a storm and see, does our armor take any damage. Easy to test.
Okay. Fixing issue where base carrying spear melee damage resistance +% was not being used correctly in the melee damage resistance calculation.
So, is this for the melee damage for a spear has a isn't a fixed number, but it's a range number from 2. Let me see, is this correct? Yeah. And apparently this range difference wasn't used correctly in the calculations for the melee damage. So I fixed that. Good.
Good.
Not sure whether we are going to do more or less melee damage with spears, but then again,
We don't
I
really
basically
use
don't
them.
use spears no more.
No, I don't use them
I
at
used
all.
it in the first couple of weeks, and then I basically abandoned them in
Yeah.
favor of the bow.
Okay. Replacement modifiers will now reset the effectiveness percentage alongside the timer.
Okay, this has to do with the talents, the new talents,
Mm-hmm.
I reckon. For food items with a similar buff, one which does have the which is like being affected by the talent, one not. Don't ask me which one. Well, actually, talking about HP. Oh, sorry, stam. Yeah, stam region.
Mm-hmm.
The wine is giving you a certain stam region.
Yeah.
Flatbread is giving you a certain stam region. Wine, definitely not a veggie, although it's made out of plants. Flatbread, however, is plant-based. So it could very well be that the flatbread is being affected by the talent and the wine or the beer not. Now, remember how 1, 2, 3 weeks ago they changed those buffs? Like for the prime meat was very clear. If you ate the gamey meat, you had the buff still running for 100 seconds, and you ate a cooked fatty T-bone. It did not
Yeah.
reset the counter. They changed it.
Yes.
So I think this is like a combination between that change and the new talents. I think that's what you have to think on for this bullet point. Just
Okay.
thinking out loud.
Yeah. Yeah. That would make sense.
Yeah, it's great indeed, Michael. So, and also how it's supposed to be. Like you have the talent, so why shouldn't the talent be getting into effect just because you have a similar buff already? Then it
Yeah.
should be on the food item, not on the buff. So
Exactly.
yeah. Right. Let's see, beds will now grant the new sleep quality mechanic while sleeping through the night. Yeah, we talked about that already, the 600, 750, 900.
Yep.
Fixed modifiers now showing their effectiveness percentage on clients, and not only on the server, sorry, on the host, but also on the clients. This we can test, compare your screen with my screen.
Yeah.
Move the accolade saving back to the word settings class so it can handle switching between characters. Okay. Wow. you finished something with one character and accolade was being awarded by another character? I don't know, never ran into that actually.
No, definitely never run into that.
That is how I read this. But
Yeah.
anyway, they fixed a typo in the Meridian Extraction quest objective. Oh, good for the grammar Nazis like I am one.
Pardon me. Yeah.
Fix an issue where Supporters Edition outposts looked accessible to all players even though they couldn't be selected. Yeah, I've talked about this before, where like yay back, where the Supporters Edition we had like the 3 outposts, where the non-supporter edition only had 1 outpost, but they could see all 3, but blah blah.
Yeah.
So now they don't look accessible no more. I don't know, maybe grayed out. I can't test this because I have the supported edition. Sorry. You can ask Carl though.
Yeah, we can. I can't test it either because I got the supporters edition.
Anyway, moving on swiftly. They fixed a typo in the Abyss mission objectives. The word with the typo Arctic was spelled as let's see, was spelled as Arctic, CITC.
Yeah.
Yeah, deploy the monitoring station in the Arctic.
Yeah.
So they fixed it. I'm reading at the feature upvote thingy.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad I fixed that. Next one. Fix players getting stuck crouched in small spaces by allowing them to fall off ledges while not pressing crouch. Okay, this I tested a long time ago already, but yeah.
Yeah.
The feature upvote behind this one actually is allow moving through window openings. When placing a crate in front of a window from inside a building, I was able to crouch on top of the crate and move through the window opening, but ended up stuck outside of the window on the side of the building.
Yeah.
I would have expected to fall down to the ground. I was able to move back and was able to get off the crate, but you couldn't get through. I've done it as well. I jump onto the windowsill, try to get into the building. I think it's one of your triple Fs even.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they fixed it now that you can actually fall off. So you can now crouch through windows. I accidentally managed to get through a window once. And I set the base on fire. Remember that one?
Oh yeah. I
So
remember that one
somehow,
very
even though it
well.
wasn't, we weren't able to, I did manage to crawl through the window. Couldn't get
Yeah.
back out again and set the base on fire. Indeed, Jason. Indeed. Yeah, it was a bit of an oops moment.
Yeah, just a bit. And you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that that clip in the Triple F episode is called "It Wasn't Me."
Exactly.
Just to make that clear, it wasn't me. Okay.
Anyway, moving on swiftly.
Yes.
Encumbrance bar and map widgets will no longer update multiple times per frame if a relevant stat changes. This improves the game performance when scrolling quickly. They also, improve the game performance when scrolling quickly through hotbar slots. The client is now authoritative of their currently selected hotbar index. Scrolling through the hotbar should now be a much smoother experience for the clients. Actually, talking about scrolling through hotbar. Remember last week? They said, hey, we fixed the issue when scrolling through the inventory in a craft screen, for example. No longer scrolls through your hotbar. For me, it scrolled through my hotbar again.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that's not where this bullet point is talking about. Basically, let's see, how did they say it? Apparently, the scrolling through the hotbar slots was like being handled by the host. not by the client.
Mm-hmm.
They now made it so that the stuff in the hotbar slot is now being decided, or at least the index is now being decided by the client itself, like which slot I may use pointing to index 1 till 10. So it should be smoother now.
Yeah.
And also, if there's a change in your encumbrance bar, you're mining, for example, you're gathering resources. If there is a change there, and also for the map widget, if there is a change on the map, think, for example, the movement of the world boss, if you have that the scanner active or you have the module.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
It now only updates once per frame. So if you're playing at 60 FPS, it updates only with a max of 60 times per second, instead of like way faster.
Yeah. Yeah. Michael in chat says, I hope they fix the wolf attack when it steps back and I move back to dodge. It always seems to hit me no matter how far I move back.
The wolf attack thingy was mentioned as well in a recent update. They should not. They said they should not be able to hit you no more if they're more than X distance away. So you're saying it still doesn't work? They still manage to damage you even though you're like halfway across the map already.
Well, that ain't good.
You might put a feature effect in then. Again, if they don't know you have this error, they can't solve it, right? So you have to tell them like, hey, I'm running into this error, for which you use feature upvote. Do check, is there an active feature upvote with this one, which is not marked as solved? This one or a similar issue. If so, upvote the current one and put your comments in. If not, you can create a new one.
He says, tried last night, I'll check again.
This was, I don't know, 2-3 updates ago? 2-3 weeks ago? In one of the updates, it was with the whole change behavior of wolf attacks. Also,
Yeah.
they changed, like, if you're too far away from the wolf, it can't hit you no more.
Yeah.
So if it was still yesterday, you should put a feature upvote in. But this was before they linked the feature upvotes, I think.
Possibly, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
So the next one we already talked about above. They added the resource requirements and what resource each relevant item provides in the tech tree. For example, water pump requires 1000 energy and provides 1000 water.
Mm-hmm.
They fixed clients' existing dropships at the wrong orientation by updating the camera rotation limits before exiting the seat. Oh, you landed backwards? I know
No,
you
what?
landed. I know you landed without dropship once, but that's a different story.
What happens? What happens with that is, I mean, I have a habit of when I'm in the dropship, I'll have a look around, and then
Oh yeah, okay.
as I'm looking around and it hits the deck,
You're like, where's the
when the
exit?
when the door opens, I stand up and I'm facing the wrong way.
Yeah. Okay, I've had that as well. Yeah. You can indeed explain it this way as well. So yeah, Michael. Sometimes it's unclear for one person what they mean. Sometimes it's unclear for the other person.
Yeah.
Again, advantage of doing a discussion about the updates instead of just reading through the updates.
Yeah. Fix deployables that require shelter not turning off their fuel source alongside processing when shelter requirements aren't met.
Deployables requiring using a fuel source. So the drills and stuff, but they are never sheltered. The deep vein extractors and stuff, they don't need shelter. Using fuel source What else? We have the generator. Now I'm not sure the generator whether or not it requires shelter.
Hmm.
I always place it inside anyway, but I'm not sure whether or not it requires shelter. Anyway, items, so deployables needing shelter, otherwise they don't work. We know this, right? You put a floor down, you put a crafting bench on top of it, it doesn't work because it's not sheltered. You have to build walls and a roof.
Yeah.
Apparently there
Jason,
are... Yeah,
Jason in chat says smelters.
good one. Yeah, yeah. Never actually looked at shelters in an unsheltered, at smelters in an unsheltered state, whether or not they kept using fuel. Huh. We can test it out. I'll place a smelter outside, check some fuel in, and see whether or not I can even put it on. Good one, I
Okay.
didn't think of that one. Good catch.
Okay. Committing missing file for custom item glow.
And good. Otherwise, we either wouldn't see the custom glow or the game would flat out give an error.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad they committed the mixing file to the build.
Yeah. And fixing issue where making reinforced glass was broken in a previous commit. Well, we know this because you made the reinforced glass, and then
They fix it later on,
yeah,
and it is still working proper. For as far as I could see, and I've been doing it the past week quite a bit in my outpost. It was still working, so this might have been in experimental or in dev branch.
yeah.
That they mixed this. Hey, it's broken again. Quickly fix it. It wasn't in
Alrighty.
production.
Okay. Okay. Uh.
They fixed up an unsaved itemable data table.
Okay.
Well, good. Otherwise, we
Yeah.
can't play proper.
Fixing missed source files, which was causing various editor compile issues.
Yeah, this must have been on trying to compile a new build. Not something we would notice, cause hey, if you can't commit your build, it doesn't get published.
Yeah. Okay. Fixed food modifiers not respecing the anti-scale of stomach slot stat.
Not respecting the anti-scale of the stomach slot stat. Huh. I don't
Okay.
know, maybe they didn't work proper. I don't know.
Okay. Adjusting rounding of modifier effect, so positive numbers round up and negative round down, correctly scaling the stats of the modifier.
Yeah, 3.5 now becomes 4 and minus 2.5 now becomes minus 3.
Alrighty. Updating modifier pop-up so it displays the correct stat values for scaled stat elements.
Thank you. So now we
Nicely
can
done.
we see the correct values.
Yeah. Fixing issue where the attachment preview table was using the wrong tag and axes were showing up as valid attachment options when they should not have been.
Yeah, let's add this get more stone attachment on our helmet instead of the pickaxe.
Yeah.
Well, the
Okay.
preview table says, okay, you can do it. And then let's just hope the actual apply would still say, you can't because it's not valid for this type.
Yeah. Okay. Fixing issue with the sandworm helm was not accepting helmet attachments.
I've seen this in the Discord indeed.
Yep.
We don't
Yeah.
use the Sandworm helm, but you were unable to put any attachments on. Even though the attachment was valid for helmets, it didn't work for the Sandworm helmets.
Hmm.
Comment from Jason. So now when we destroy an exotic miner, we get back 3 electronics. You get back half the resources, Jason. I'm not sure for which bullet point this comment was, but Destroying an object always gives you back. Oh wait, it's 5 electronics. Give back 3. It might actually. I don't know. Is a good one. We can test it. I mean, it's just 5 electronics.
Okay.
Here's a little caveat for destroying objects. If I create a pickaxe, I use half the resources. Yeah, I have the talent for 50% less resources used. So I craft a pickaxe. I use X amount of resources. I destroy the pickaxe. I get half the resources back, half the base resources. So when I destroy a pickaxe crafted by myself, I get back everything I used for making the pickaxe.
Yeah.
Never tried it with an uneven amount of items though.
No, me either. But I would only be able to do that with bows with my sticks
No,
character.
you don't have the 50%, I think.
For the sticks character, I do.
Okay, good. For example, the I make the platinum pickaxes for us all the time. So normally it costs 2 wood, 4 leather, 12 platinum ingots. For me, it just costs 1 wood, 2 leather, 6 ingots. I destroy it, I get back 1 wood, 2 leather, 6 ingots.
Yeah.
And we have made use of this at some point where Ecco was a tad impatient and crafted herself a pickaxe without all the modifiers when I do it.
Yeah.
Luckily, it didn't cost us any resources in the regards of I destroyed it and I recrafted it. I didn't need any additional materials. And she had a pickaxe with all the stats. It just meant that one of the group had to go without pickaxe for a bit longer.
Yeah. Which was me, seeing as I made the mess.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
this is a little caveat, which I do like exists. And I'm not gonna put it in a feature upvote. Because I do like this caveat.
Oh, yes, for sure. It's most helpful. Most helpful. Okie dokie. Moving swiftly on. Fixing issue where resources being produced on crafting benches were not being displayed correctly in the user interface.
Resources being produced on a crafting bench?
hmm Fixing issues where resources being produced on crafting benches were
You don't
not being displayed correctly in the user interface.
you don't produce resources in a crafting bench, do you know?
No, that's what it says.
Huh? Not sure what I mean with this one, to be honest. So yeah, like I said, not sure.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, resource networking. Resource network stats now reload correctly. Machines should be active if they were in an active state when logged off. A few edge cases will remain, but the networks will no longer look active when they are not.
Yeah, basically, and they've talked about this in previous updates as well with fixes. Like you load back into the game, the electric generator starts running again, and all your lights and drills and everything should automatically get to their previous state. If they were active when you logged off, they should be active again. If they were inactive when you logged off, they should be inactive again.
Yeah,
Which
well, that
makes
makes
me
sense.
wonder though, like in my outpost, I have one generator running and a bunch of solar panels. During the night, not everything is running. During the day, everything is running. Because I like auto continue. I wonder what will happen if I log off in the night and log back in. Will they still automatically continue when daylight breaks? when the solar panels start producing power again. Well,
Oh, you'll definitely.
they were in an active state, although they didn't have enough power. So if the state is being retained, they should auto continue. I'll have to
Yeah, which means they should
look at this at
automatically
some point.
they should automatically turn on when the sun comes up.
Yeah. The only thing is those drills are a bit away from my base. But at some point I'll check this in my outpost if I don't forget.
Okie dokie.
Anyway, the next bullet point we already talked as well about the doors, windows, and electronic
Yep.
lights should now restore the state, open, close, on, off, etc. correctly upon a
Yep.
reload.
Yeah. We also discussed the one below that
Yep,
above. Setting up custom item glow alpha to work correctly with override images.
for example, the bow. Yep.
Yep. Fixing issue where an incorrect icon would be displayed after selecting a recipe in the player's menu, moving to another tab, then navigating back to crafting.
Never had this actually. Never noticed.
No, never noticed that either. So,
Huh.
okay, they fixed a bug where clients couldn't place wall pieces at 90-degree angles by using the internal placement guide circle.
I'm usually host, so this is something you could have seen were it not that I do hold a building.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
The next one is strangely specific. Fixed
Yeah.
clients not being able to sprint west after sleeping in a bed by adding server checks to the player's camera manager. So clients only. It only is for sprinting and specifically sprinting westwards.
Yeah. That's weird.
After so you get out of bed, you can't immediately start sprinting westwards. I don't know. It's only for clients. Again, I'm usually the host, so I wouldn't know this.
No.
It's rather specific, but they fix it. So good news for the clients who want to start sprinting west the moment they wake up.
Yep. Okie dokie. Fixing issue where you could craft reinforced X on any machine that was connected to water. Ah, damn it. Wish we'd known about that one.
Yeah, hey, let's make a reinforced concrete wall.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, like I said, I've done quite a bit of building on my outpost the past week.
Oh,
My cement mixer is hooked up to the water network. I was never able to craft reinforced concrete.
No, but could you imagine being able to do reinforced
Reinforced thatch? Oh no.
reinforced poison pills or
Eh. Yeah, so
something
they
like
don't
that?
take no storm damage. That's very handy for your poison pills, so they don't take storm damage. So connected to water, so we're talking about glass working bench, reinforced jars.
Yes. There you go.
We're talking about cement mixer, reinforced concrete railing, for which you oddly enough use aluminum ore.
Yeah, I never got that one.
Yeah. Hook up to the water network, we have the kitchen bench, indeed, the reinforced pills.
Yeah.
Reinforced bread. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. With reinforced bread, it's a tad heavy in the stomach, but...
Reinforced wine.
Oh, yeah. Carlos is gonna love that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, try keeping
Alas,
Carl away from the wine now.
alas, it doesn't work no more.
Dang it. Oh,
So
we
here's
could have
something
made use of that one.
Yeah. Here's something we can test easily. They fixed weather debris particles being visible while underwater, leaves, sticks, etc. Underwater, I'm not sure you could see leaves flying by. Never
Yes, you could.
actually paid attention to it. I do know it is in caves, oddly.
Well, it's also in the tunnels to caves. I mean, when I was underwater, just sort of like killing fish, and there was a storm about, you could see the leaves and the sticks and stuff underwater.
Okay. So no longer. Good. Good. More realistic. Fixed up the network, the widget spacing on the talent tooltips, especially for the resource network display. Yep. Yeah, the tooltips. You have there is now the extra requires this or produces that, so you need a space for it.
Yeah,
I'm glad they actually spiced up the widget for it.
cool.
And updated the resource network display so it's present on both items and recipes as well. Indeed, in your tech tree you can see, and the pop-up you can see it now, so I assume you can also see it in the crafting menu. We can quickly check this once we have the base up and running. And that was the last one of the fixes.
Nice.
So,
Well, we do still have
continuing.
quite a chunk to work through, so let's get right
Yeah,
into it.
yeah. So, as usual, we just skim through these here because it's future, you don't have no point of reference. We look for interesting stuff like the second one. Players can now interact with applicable orphaned juvenile creatures to begin the taming process. Updating
Ooh,
taming user interface to show relevant environmental modifiers. Mounts no longer automatically assign the nearest player as their owner, they must be interacted with to do this instead. Bit by bit. Uh, to begin the taming process. So the taming process looks to be like you shoot the parent, and then you interact with the orphan juvenile in order to tame it. Interesting taming method. It also
okay.
means that once it's tamed, I'm not sure how long the taming process will work. You then have to wait for the juvenile to reach maturity before you can use it.
It's kind of how it sounds.
Yeah. But it also means we are going to get more juvenile creatures because so far
The
we
only
only have
one
the
we
Bambis.
have, yes, we only have the baby deer,
Yeah,
which we noticed yesterday were taking on like rabbits surrogates and
yeah. Rabbits,
chamois
ghosts, other
surrogates.
deer. Like I'm still waiting for a Bambi to take on a wolf as a surrogate mom, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I'm quite sure it'll
Uh,
happen at some
yeah.
point.
Jason says, I can't wait for mounts. I hope they will be on all maps. Uh, maybe. Maybe, Jason. It could be like map specific, so DLC specific. Like, you know, in the if you start a new prospect, you have to choose between base game Olympus or the first DLC Styx, the free DLC for everyone. It could be that those tames, that taming is only going to be in the next DLC, Prometheus. Uh, this might tie into the whole new juvenile creatures part. Like, if you're going to be able to tame a buffalo, and the taming process only works on juvenile creatures, it means you need to have juvenile buffaloes. So it might be DLC specific, only in Prometheus, that those juvenile buffaloes are only in Prometheus. It might be that they transfer it back to the other, the base game and the sticks as well. Don't forget though, there are DLC specific animals. Komodos, crocodiles, they're only in Styx DLC, not in Olympus base game. It
Yeah,
would suck. Well, From the point of view of someone who only has the base game, yes. However, for someone from the point of view from someone who pays for a DLC, it's like, hey, I paid for the DLC, but now I have some extra stuff, which people who didn't pay for this DLC do not have. From that
Yeah.
point of view, I could understand if Rocketworks would say this is gonna be DLC specific.
Hmm.
Anyway, say mounts no longer automatically assign the nearest player as their owner. They must be interacted with to do this instead. So the taming process is complete, and then one person walks up to the tamed creature and says, "Okay, I'm your boss from now on." And then you can like switch ownership. This was in one of the previous future contents. They were talking about switching ownerships of tamed animals. So yeah, it's no longer like the juvenile will no longer automatically take the nearest player as their owner, but you can like assign a dedicated animal owner. I don't know. Maybe we'll get some new talents for it as well. Actually, they're going to be interesting. Something we have not thought about before. Will the DLC come with new talents as well? Right. If
Mm.
so, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. Because
Yeah. Well,
I like my current characters.
yeah. Well, I think maybe the best way would be to like play the game, get the talent points, and not use them till you know what you want them to do.
So basically create yet another character. Hmm.
No, play the character you've got and save the talent points.
I've used all my talent points on my level 50s.
Oh yeah, true.
So I have no talent points left. So
Yeah.
if the new DLC will come with new talents, we're gonna have to create new characters again. I mean, why not? We're gonna do it anyway, probably.
Yeah.
Just for the fun, like we did with Sticks.
Mhm.
Interesting to keep in mind. Anyway, let's
Yeah.
continue.
Uh,
Uh,
how many are you skipping?
I'm quickly skimming through them now. Not a whole lot of stuff we can actually say much about.
No. There's a lot of audio and decals and plant variants and things. Uh,
Formatting,
mm,
meshes, updating
yeah,
creature
there's the
footsteps.
butterflies, trait
Buttercup actually.
variables. Yeah,
Buttercup.
buttercup, not butterflies. Trait variables. Fix. Oh, here's one. Fix crash when adding saddles to mount characters due to uninitialized pointer in is being ridden function.
I'm glad I fixed it, otherwise the game would crash as soon as you try to add a saddle to the mount.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of why I picked up on it.
Yeah, but this is not really like new info for us actually.
Nope. I'm just.
Hey, add surface checker component to mount base so that mount footsteps, audio, etc. can modulate based on the surface type the creature is on.
That's a good one. Yeah. I mean, they did it for us.
Yep. So if a buffalo is walking over a rock, it'll sound different than when it's walking over grass. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Well, deers and chamois already sound different on rock than they do on
Do they?
grass. Yes. You mean you've never been standing on a rock and on the edge of a cliff and heard like chamois and stuff
Uh,
walking
I
past you?
I also hear that sound when they're running through the forest.
I don't hear it when they're running through the
The
forest.
clippity clip,
Yeah.
also in the forest. But yeah,
Really?
yep.
All right. Well, you've got better hearing than me, so I'll take your word for it. Riverbank, platform defaults, engine plugin change.
Rather than composing on Windows
More picture
platforms. Again,
layers.
good news for our Mac users.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just
So,
scanning this. I kind of think we're done here.
yeah, not a whole lot, and like, not a whole lot of proper new stuff. Like, sure, we added some decals, we added some splines, we refactored a bit here, replaced some functions there. But no, I think the most important one here is the news we got about the taming process.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that would be definite. Yeah.
Yeah, but that means we are done with the patch notes.
It does, doesn't it?
Yep.
And it's around about time too, because that's us an hour and 47 minutes in. That's been a long one again this week.
Yes. But there were quite a few fixes here as well.
Yeah, that's also very true. Also very true. Okay, I am going to say, if you don't mind, because there's a few things I need to do before we go off to the gameplay. Uh, I was going to say a 20-minute break, but that kind of almost sounds too long at this time. What do you think?
I'm gonna go, All I need to do is press the play button and I can I can start playing. So, how much time do you need?
I don't know, 10, 15 minutes.
Sure. Let's make it 13, and we start quarter past.
Okay.
Nice round
Yeah.
number.
Yep. That sounds good to me. So we will begin again in, rather at
Quarter past the hour.
22:15. Yeah, 22:15, 10:15, um, uh, GMT, and we will see you then. So until then, it's good night from me,
And good night from her.
and we'll see you on the next one. Night night.